What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the KCM. We're here in week 8, getting started with a Zerg versus Terran, Yoon versus S-Key. Got some things to get into. Let's start it off.
진짜 오랜만이네. 조종훈 감독님.
All right. First thing you might notice, we're looking a little sparse down here with the lineup. No Protoss at all this week. Seems that they just didn't even sign up. Crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I'm kind of speechless that we don't have any Protoss representation whatsoever. I mean, to be fair though, it was a really lackluster performance the previous weeks, and so I'm not sure what to say about that. Is it just like they didn't even want to take a stab at it? They just thought best just like leave them to it and just like fight it out in the semi-finals instead.
I don't know what they're thinking, man. Like the last week's lineup was terrible, and now they can't even put together a squad here. I'm feeling really disappointed in players like Rain, players like big name players that should be here representing their race, and they're not even willing to come out and sign up. That's disappointing, man. Very disappointing. But you know, we're gonna get a couple of lineups here. Terran and Zerg. They're gonna be fighting for still $750, and that all-kill prize over $1,000. So very attainable here for either Zerg or Terran.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think that Protoss would have much of a chance at taking on these lineups from their previous performance. I don't know if it's a scheduling issue with some of the players not being able to turn up for whatever reason, but with the amount of players that they have available to them in the roster, I can't imagine that's the only reason. There's got to be something else going on as well, so not quite sure what's going on in the Protoss dugout, but it seems like we're going to be seeing just pure TVZ action, which I'm actually quite happy about personally. I do really like TVZ. I think it's one of the better matchups in the game, both as an observer and playing it.
Yeah, GBZ is fantastic. I don't know if it's that like legendary toxicness from the Protoss. I feel like yeah, it's got to be something going on with their squad, that they're just some sort of infighting or something. Who knows? We don't really have much information here other than they just didn't schedule, they didn't present their lineup in time, so we had to proceed here without them. And we've got Yoon versus S-Key here. I want to call him Soul-Key, but it's S-Key. Slightly derivative name, but he is a different player. S-Key has competed in the Caster Muse tournament. He's competed in a couple of other tournaments as well, but is a relatively new player on the scene.
Yeah, I think he's made just a little under $2,000 worth in prize money, so he's got his name on the board, so to speak, but he's up and coming, fresh on the board still, so let's see what he can do here. Nice little bit of drone harassment. I noticed he also put down a pool, did Yoon at 13 supplies, so going for more of an economic style here, even though he's going for 2 hatchery opening. He's elected to make his pool very late, understanding that he doesn't need to invest in anything too early here. Just going to be playing very safe, very macro focused for the time being. Yoon, a pretty strong macro Zerg, I think, from what I have seen of him.
Well, he's gonna need that macro because S-Key started out with a command center first here. He's gonna have the advantage going forward, at least in terms of that macro. We'll see if he can get his turrets up in the right places at the right time here, because this is probably gonna hit pretty hard with that 2.5 hatch. It's been thrown down here from Yoon. He's going to have a pretty decent middle-list timing, and he's going to have a lot of larvae to work with as well.
Yeah, we see this 2 racks from S-Key. One thing to note though is cross-map positioning, so we probably won't see too much of a successful attack at the 5-minute mark, maybe just to force a response out of Yoon. But what he's really going for here is this Overlord at 12 o'clock. We see the 3 Marines now moving in to try and snipe this Overlord. It's a very big pick-off for him if he can get this, and there's no way that you could ever get up here to challenge this. especially with being a little bit greedier, as he has chosen to do. So going for this sort of 2.5 hatch style and squeezing out a few extra drones in the early game, hasn't got any lings out on the map besides these two that are now just heading across now. So yeah, unfortunately him going to be losing that Overlord for free. It's not the worst thing in the world for him. He did probably start making an Overlord as soon as he noticed that, but it does slow him down a lot here, being supply blocked for a few moments.
Yeah, you'd love to be going up to about 24 drones right now. Getting prepared for that Mutalisk production, but you know, he's gonna have to hold off on building those drones for quite some time. Now he's put them into the eggs, but oh, a third base gonna come down here right away. I guess he had that extra money kind of banked up there. This is one way to spend that in a kind of a positive way here. The Spire is just about done, and I don't think we have too many mutas going to be popping out here. Maybe 3, 4 can be produced right now. He's been hiccuped quite badly by this Overlord loss.
Yeah, and I think Eski's kind of sniffed that out as well. He's only just now, I think, going to be starting to add on turrets. I think he's prioritizing his barracks location as well. And he went right up into 4 racks as well, so he's going to have a healthy number of bio units soon, able to push out onto the map as early as possible. Going for the early 4 racks is really important to be able to get onto the map as quickly as possible, as Terran 3 just doesn't seem to quite cut it in the meta. You need a little bit of extra juice to get those big viables going and threaten the U account early on.
Yeah, this is very meta right now. 4 rack style has been trending. Should see a factory get thrown down here pretty soon. We'll see if he decides to go for Valkyrie this game. The Valkyrie push has been also really popular, very, very strong. Eski just threatening out here in the middle of the map, not allowing Yoon to put that pressure on in the main base. Oh my god, just flying straight through. What happened? Yoon loses a bunch of muta here. Really bad timing on that movement, because now he's got nothing back at home. He's got no sunken colonies. He's going to try and make one. I think Eski's just going to break him here.
I think so, Sane. I think he might just be dead here. He lost almost all of his mutas. There's a few speedlings from behind that are going to try and buy some time desperately. He's only got 1 sunken in production right now. There's absolutely nothing to hold this off, save for a few handful of mutas. A few more are hatching out the eggs right now. There's now enough mutas 5 to start one-shotting these Marines, so it's not going to be enough to challenge his entire viable. Looks like he's actually going to break him. It's really unfortunate he just lost all those mutas for free like that. I think he is going to break him. It's just a few extra units coming in for a SK as well, so I don't think Yoon's going to be able to stabilize this. Really unfortunate. It's happened as a Zerg player, losing all your viewers, but I think he's going to have to tap out here.
Damn, GG. Yoon taps out and Eski will advance. Alright, Dark Origin going to be our next map here with Eski versus Soma. Had a decent performance there in that last game. Looks like he's going to follow up with an 8 racks here. Actually, 6 racks.
6 racks. Yeah, this is crazy, Sam.
Alright, put some serious pressure on here. Against Soma in the early game, and he's going for a 9? No, he's sending out a drone here, so he's fully aware that this is a play that could happen.
Right, but I don't think he would expect the 6 racks. I don't know how meta this is. This is the kind of thing you sometimes see like lower ranked micro players do. They'll go for these really crazy barracks timings to really throw off their opponents. Usually don't see it in the high echelons of play, but it's a kind of adjustment you can make when you know 8 racks just isn't quite going to cut it with these rush distances and such. But yeah, with this 9 scout coming out from Soma, he's going to be able to bully this SEV quite significantly on that barracks, but not before it finishes that barracks crucially. So if he'd gone for the 8 racks, he wouldn't have been able to finish his barracks at all. It would have been a GG automatically. But with the 6 racks, now he's got a little bit of a backup plan despite that. So this is why the 6 racks is used here, because the 8 racks would just be an auto lose against 9 scouts. So at least now there's some follow-up play that SK can make regardless of this early drone scout.
Yeah, the 9 scout with the drone hasn't been popular for quite a long time, but with the meta being what it is, with 8 racks being very, very popular, I guess that's what Soma's doing now, and it's gonna really pay off for him here. He's gonna get some lings out in time to deal with this, no problem. Gonna force this back really easily, and he even gets the SCV as well, so he's in a fantastic position back at home. Solki, I keep saying Solki, Eski is going to throw down a factory and try to get a Mickey Mouse wall at the front. Those two supply depots making a complete wall. No, he's actually going to fly to the main, actually. Just hold on the ramp, because six lings are rocketing across this map. It's going to be hard to hold anywhere but on this ramp right now.
Yeah, he can't afford to make the factory and the Mickey Mouse wall, so it's like a I have to evacuate to the ramp type situation. But it's a little bit of a sticky one because we got the SEV trying to buy a little bit of time, slowing down those links as they make their way across the map, but not quite really buying enough time. Now starting to make their way onto the right hand side, buying a little bit of extra few seconds for Eski as Soma got a little bit distracted there by the SEV. Enough time to maybe hold this ramp. He has got a vulture that will be starting any moment as soon as this factory starts, but for the time being it's only 3 Marines and a few SCVs to hold this ramp. So it's like Soma though is kind of not really committing to any follow-up, so just a little bit of a pressure play, keeping some SCVs off the mining right now. And he did start with such an early barracks as well, so Eski's on a really like bare minimum economy right now, so forcing him to bring a couple of SCVs off the line is actually a really big deal right now. So looks like he's going up into 2 factories as well, so looks like he wants to commit to 1 base play for quite some time.
He's still mining 3 on gas. What do you think about this? Like, what is the plan for Eski right now with those 3 gas miners?
It's very bizarre because you would think that he'd be going for Wraiths with this extra gas, but he's building a second factory, so it's actually kind of weird. Like, I don't know quite what to make of it, if I'm being totally honest with you. It's possible that he wants to do some kind of really crazy early tank mech play. I don't know for sure. He might be doing some kind of weird tank bust play where he wants to siege up really quickly and try and break the Zerg right before Mutas hatch and kind of go for a technical win that way and like break the Zerg with a really weird tank timing, but I don't think that will be too successful here. I'm not too sure how this is going to line up with what Soma's doing.
Yeah, this is a little bit beyond me. No idea what kind of build we're going to be seeing here. Ling managed to make it in, but not quite far enough to see those 2 factories, so he's not going to be sure what's coming here. Armory's on the way, so I guess he's going to go Goliath? Just straight up Goliath build after this?
Yeah, but he mined quite a lot of gas. Is he gonna take an upgrade as well with this gas? I'm confused why he stayed 3 on gas so long if he's not gonna take an upgrade as well.
This feels like a mistake, truly.
It does feel like a mistake, so.
Alright, well, that Spire is just about to finish here. And yeah, we're just going straight up Goliath with 300 gas in the bank. And we are close to supply block here. Looks like he does have a supply depot on the way, so he's going to avoid that for now. We've got no natural. Likewise, Soma doesn't have a 3rd base, so I guess we're okay in that regard. Upgrade is on the way now, so yeah, he did want to get that upgrade pretty early. Still a little bit too much gas here, and his command center is going to be very, very late.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this position for Eski. I think Soma's gonna have a field day with him in the coming minutes of the game. I think he might be okay temporarily, but once he tries to secure his expansion, I don't know how he's going to be successful in doing so. For the time being, I think he will be able to hold off these initial aggression of the Mutas from Soma, but Soma's going to be going right into 3 base, which is exactly what he should be doing right now, and that will kind of put the Terran on the clock. If they need to, so Eski will need to secure his expansion relatively soon, or will just fall off quite rapidly if he doesn't do so. So I think Soma's in a great position right now, and all he needs to do is maintain the game state to win.
This is one of those situations where you would like to know what your opponent is doing, you'd like to figure it out, but if you don't know what Terran is doing and you're just producing mutas, you're gonna be fine, and no matter what they're really trying to pull out against you. He's gone for burrow as well, so he's got a bunch of lings burrowed all over the place, making sure that he's got vision everywhere. Looks like he should be able to kill this burrow ling. No, it's not in range of that detection. That's crazy to me. He's getting prepared here to take his expansion, but with just 1 turret, could come in here and dive on a couple of these Goliaths and make a real problem here for Eski. He's gonna kill the turrets actually, and now he's gonna have to fight straight up with Goliaths with no turret coverage. I think we could see Eski just lose a bunch of Goliaths here, but Soma being very careful, just slowly pushing forward here, making sure that he doesn't take any, damage on these mutas. He picks another Goliath off, and he's starting to saturate his third base, whereas Eski just getting his command center now.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this for Eski. He's no way he's going to be able to hold on to this command center. There's no turrets. There's a handful of Goliaths. He is starting to slowly add on turrets. Soma, if he wanted to, I think could just pump nothing but pure mutas and overrun him right now. But I think that Soma will instead try and guarantee the win by squeezing out a few drones here and like macroing up a little bit. I think he understands that he's so far ahead because of how late this command center is that he's just going to go for a guaranteed win rather than risking like just committing to full-on mutalisk assault and try and overrun him right now. It gives a small comeback potential to Eski doing that. Now going to be flying into the main base with these mutas again, taking out the turret there. And opening up this position to further harass, kind of keeping the Goliaths pinned down in these defensive positions rather than being able to consolidate into one location to help fight off the mutas more efficiently.
Yeah, the big thing for Soma right now is he just needs to get information here. Continuously building mutas and just checking the main base to see what's going to come after this. Is Eski going to be going for science vessels and continued upgrades, or is he going to hit a big factory push timing with +1/+1? It's probably going to be the latter, but you do need to know if it's going to be the former as well. So Soma just picking off these vultures as well, denying any harassment opportunities here for Eski. His Mutalisk clump is just massive right now. If Eski decides to move forward at all, he's just going to get completely destroyed. And look at this. 2 full groups of Muta come forward and just crush the Goliath number into the ground. Only 2 Goliaths here now at the natural. He's going to dive in once again. Oh my god, this is some professional level micro here. Using 2 groups of Mutalisks so well to just overwhelm and one-shot those Goliaths one by one, taking them out. Now going to work on the SCVs. This is a complete stomp here from Soma. GG is called as Eski taps out. Ouch! Both those 2 new players have been eliminated. Now we've just got our professional players here, with Light, Sal, Kira, and Soma remaining in this group in this week of KCM. Hopefully we're gonna get some great games now. Alright, Light versus Soma here for game number 3. We're on Neo Sylphid here, so I'm excited for this one. We should get a really decent game. But Soma actually throwing down a pretty early pool here. No, respecting the 8 Rex meta right now, really.
Right, yeah, it also does kind of cover him against the greedy 14cc as well. So it does kind of hedge his bets a little bit against an eco cheese as well. So it has a lot of strengths to it. The one thing it's really not great against is when you do the sort of like safe opening, which kind of like shuts it down, but it kind of evens up anyway. It's not the end of the world here. So, interestingly enough though, Soma actually going to be doing the more aggressive lair timing of getting his gas and then probably wanting to go straight into a really quick lair, I imagine. So he wants to go really hard on the Muta micro this game, maybe even an all-in 2-hatch Muta.
That's seeming more and more likely here with the lateness of that natural. He's not going to be adding on too many drones, just getting that lair out as quickly as possible and barreling up to mutas to start harassing. And you know what? I kind of like it on this map. We've got the natural here for Light right up against that river here, that lake. So it's a very harassable location, and you can fly very quickly from the natural into the main over that high ground just north of the natural. So there's a lot of options here for this play, but with Light scouting absolutely everything, knowing exactly what's coming here, he should be able to counter this. It's going to be tough, regardless if you get the build order counter, but yeah.
Yeah, it does still come down to execution. We saw Light go out for this little Overlord snipe, but Soma took a very direct path into the main base from the left-hand side, making sure he can get in and check the gas timing and get out without getting that sniped off, which is really good for him to confirm that timing, so he knows the possible stim and range timings that he has to worry about from Light. One thing that's really interesting here, though, is that Light's not the kind of guy to like sit back and let you do your thing, right? He's going to put on a lot of pressure right now. He's gonna hiccup the build order of Soma quite significantly by trying to force out a few extra lings, and he would like to usually make. Soma right now wants to make no more than 8 lings ideally. If he makes any more than 8 lings, it's because he's worried about what Light might be up to. So it looks like he has made a few extra lings as well. He's gone up all the way to 10. So he's gonna feel like now he's forced to put on some aggression. But Light's kind of played him well here, because he's forced an extra pair of lings out, which could, I know it doesn't sound significant to the viewers at home, but forcing Zerg to make like even just one less drone when they're already going for such an aggressive like lair timing is actually a really huge deal. So Light just being a little bit more aggressive than some Terrans would be in this early game phase forced out a tiny bit of extra units from Soma, and that's now really slowed down the economic prowess of Soma, so he won't even be able to be squeezing out his mutas on time.
Mutas will be hitting the field here soon. He's going to try and get a couple of Marine kills. Only able to get one, though, trading out quite a few of these lings. So you're absolutely right. This is painful for Soma right now. As this Mutalist production starts here, his drone number is very, very low. Got 9 in the main, 4 here in the natural, and only 2 on the gas at that natural as well. So, I mean, we're going to be able to just barely produce full-time on our 2 hatches, but we won't be able to afford literally anything else.
Yeah, and the most important thing is that it slowed down the initial 6 mutas, so he only was able to make like 4, and then the 5th, and then the 6th, so he won't have that like big power spike that he needs to start hitting down on Light. So it will give Light a few extra like few seconds of breathing room to set up these defenses, build up these big zoning turrets spots in his main base, at his barracks location, and his natural. This is such a hard map to defend against mutas, how these minerals are right up against this cliff, so really dangerous and not something you want to mess around with as Light here. He's in a really tough spot to defend. This 12 o'clock position is one of the hardest to defend in the main base, especially with how far the gas is spread apart from the mineral fields, so it's a very tough situation for Light to have to manage defending, but he can do it. He has slowed down Soma enough here that I think he's already going to be able to navigate his way quite efficiently in this early game.
Well, look at this. Soma has decided, you know, I think Light is going to over-prepare for this, and he's gone ahead and popped out a bunch of drones, kind of faking out Light here. You know, Light scanned the main and natural to check and see when the mutas were going to be popping there. Oh, he cancels one of his turrets. He's realized it with that latest scan that a bunch of those eggs that he thought were mutas were actually drones, and we've thrown down a 3rd base as well. So this is an interesting play from Soma. A lot of mind games going back and forth here between these 2 pros.
It's what you'd expect, especially at the level of play from these 2 is so high that if they just played the exact same game, it would be too easy for them to meta one another. So there'll be lots of small micro adjustments. Oh, losing 1 muta for free is Soma really unfortunate there. That's actually a big deal. Losing any form of power from his army right now is going to really hurt him and allow Light more confidence to come out onto this map and put more and more pressure on and take away any wind from the sails that is Soma in getting some counter damage done into the main base on natural. Soma really desperately wants to try and find some damage in the main base on natural here. Wants to come in and start taking out some of these SCVs that are trying to build some of these production facilities, and not able to do so. He's kind of already softened up his mutas a little bit from flying in and checking, so now going to be focusing mainly on the middle of the map with these mutas and lings, trying to buy as much time as possible for him to get his infrastructure set up, build a few extra drones, tech up, and eventually we'll be able to fight Light more head-on in the mid-game, but for the time being just wants to buy as much time as possible. He's got this 3rd base online, the gas on the way, but for the time being has no lurkers to defend and no sunguns to defend, so he needs to constantly dog this bioforce with these mutas and keep them back and at bay. Right now the biggest form of defense will be offense and trying to engage these bio units in the center.
We haven't seen that tech transition just yet. Soma getting some good shots off here with his mutas, though. Picking off quite a few of these Marines, keeping that muta ball healthy as well.
자, 0-1로 끝난 뮤탈리스크입니다.
It appears that Light wants to transition this into a Valkyrie play, realizing how much has been committed to these Mutalist forces, and the lack of tech means that those Valkyries will be incredibly powerful. You want to get in here, Soma, and figure out that this play is coming as soon as possible so that you can start that Hydralisk Den. But he's going to come forward here and actually wipe out this Marine Force. We've got a bunch of reinforcements coming down here, coming southward. He's just going to barely save one of these medics. But a great cleanup overall by Soma.
Yeah, if he had done that like any later, they would have been way too slow and the two forces would have joined and overpowered Soma. So he came in at the absolute last possible minute, right before Light was about to rejoin forces and bolster that up. So really great timing from Soma and execution right when he needed to. Now going to be sweeping into the natural area where the barracks production is with these 11 Muers. And it's going to be really hard for Light to actually come into this choke point because look how tight this choke is. Soma can just micro for days of these bio units try to come into the main base. Soma's in a great spot right now. The Valkyrie is needed for point defense. He is going to be able to get that just barely in time to ward away these mutas from that choke point. It's really tough for Terran to secure that choke point without turrets or vessels for irradiate or some kind of Valkyrie play. So really lucky for Light that his Valkyrie popped out in just that moment when he could have shut down those bio units from coming into the main base at all. Going to be rotating around to the main base area, taking out the turret there as well, killing out a few more additional Marines as well. Is Soma on the exit, trying to be as annoying as possible to Light and stretching his multitasking while he's macroing quite heavily back at home, probably just making nothing but units though, and transitioning into Hive with lurkers as we go.
Yeah, it's very important that he saw that the Valkyries there popping out. He saw the armory. He knows right away that he needs to transition here. Tank is out as well. So we're going to see that fantasy-esque timing push here out of Light. And there's no lurkers here for quite some time. Light going to start to push out here. And this is a serious threat to Soma. If he doesn't get something together here, he's going to be in real trouble. He's got to snipe this tank or possibly these two Valkyries as well. Get some Scourge out here on the field and slow this down. Find a way to dismantle this push. Otherwise, he's just going to get bowled over. We got 5 of these barracks. Here he comes. Scourge getting a bunch of hits here. He's going to get that. Oh, really nicely done. Picking off all the Valkyries there. But this tank still does remain. He may have to dive forward once again with these mutas. But that's not going to leave him with too many left to handle this Bioforce.
Yeah, he's got 11 mutas of 1/1 upgrades, a very potent force. He's going to try and shuffle around the backhand side of and try and cut off the remaining forces coming down to help that out. Doesn't get the tank quite. It gets one shot off on this. Gets the snipe on the tank. There is another Valkyrie coming in to act as point defense for these mutas as well, but he's taking a few extra free shots on that Valkyrie. He's going to lose that Valkyrie, but now he's trying to break the Sunkers. I don't know if this is going to work for Light. I think this is too little, too late. I think Soma's just barely got enough to absolutely decimate this attack, and this is going to be really bad news for Light. He really wanted some damage here. I think Soma's just barely going to be able to hang on by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, he is going to hang on here. Just barely in range. Yes, he does get that shot off with those lurkers, finishing off the tank and pushing everything back. Soma has done this perfectly here. Everything I said that he needed to do to hold off this attack, to snipe the Valkyries there with the Scourge, to kill off those tanks. He did it immaculately and against one of the strongest Terran players that we have. This is so impressive. Soma's on his A game today.
Yeah, he's kind of showing like what you need to do to really be exceptional at this game, which is StarCraft, is kind of walking that tightrope of having the absolute bare minimum that you need to survive. And he did that with absolute masterclass and demonstrated exactly how thin of a tightrope you can walk and still survive, even against such a very potent attack from Light, very well executed attack at that. Now going to be swinging into the main base with these mutas yet again, forcing the SCVs off the line, causing absolute mayhem and pandemonium. Really reducing the Terran production and economy quite significantly by just small maneuvers like this, while Light desperately tries to get on the map with this small force, a vessel, a tank, and some bio units, trying to get anything done here. There's some lurkers possibly on hold position waiting at this natural false high ground third, trying to see if he can get some units for free, but with the vessel they're going to be retreating that back down to the sunken colonies, and it looks like there's enough forces here for Soma that he should be able to hang on. He might be able to get the snipe on this tank.
Oh, he's not paying attention. Oh, he is now. He gets it. He's gonna get this. He's gonna get this. This is huge. Irradiate's gonna come down, I think. Irradiate. Gotta pull out. Very nice pull out there from Soma. Soma's playing this unbelievably well. He may still end up getting broken here, but he's done such a good job of holding this off so far. There's the Defiler. Defiler does not have that energy just yet. It's popped through the night. It's to wait for the Consume upgrade to finish. If he just gets Consume here, he should be able to hold this off. Still cutting off more and more Marines as they're coming across the map. This is huge, getting these Marine kills right now. And just killing all of the reinforcements. Brings a Ling out to try and kill the siege tank. He almost gets it as well. Both upgrades here, armor and attack for these mutas. Here it comes. There's the Consume. He gets the Dark Swarm and the Lurker's Burrow. Once again, Light pushed away. Oh my god, this is so crazy. How well Soma's been playing today. This is nuts.
Yeah, he's playing absolutely on fire, saying he has been supply blocked just now by Light, but it's going to be almost impossible for Light to break through this. There's no way Light can break the other base location as well at like half 6 o'clock. So yeah, I don't know how Light goes from here, because Soma's just going to gain a little bit more territory by shuffling out his lurkers little by little, setting up leapfrogged big clouds of orange death that just causes like absolute despair into the hearts and minds of Terrans everywhere. That is the one thing they do not like, is that big orange cloud, and unfortunately Light's going to be seeing a lot of it, I think. There's no energy left on this science vessel either, so just one swarm over here and it's going to be lights out. Right now, no Defiler, no swarm for the time being. Light starting to make his way up the ramp, targets down the sunken colony. There is no Defiler here just yet. Now the other lurkers getting focused down as well. He has broken this base if he doesn't get a Defiler in here, right now. So it looks like Soma needs to get anything down into defend, but nothing is really coming to help. I don't think there's any Defilers in position to come and save this base. So somehow Light breaking through, defying all the odds right now. There is now a Defiler out, but hasn't consumed anything to be able to consume. Does able to shuffle down to the south side, gets the consume on the drone, finally gets a cloud down, but not before everything's pretty much dead. Nidus Canal will fall as well. Swarm does not protect buildings underneath it, and Light now breaking the natural as well. GG call from Soma, completely busted wide open by Light, not on top of his Defiler production at all, saying.
Oh, so painful there, that finish. Gets the clapper from KCM. This is the problem with this map here, Neo Sylphid, is there are so many abusive positions for the Terran to work with, especially when you take that third base, the high ground in the bottom left. There's the tanks can siege up from the low ground. You can hit the lurkers up there very easily. There's plenty of different angles you can hit from there. You can even hit the gas with the tank if you hit that proper angle. And Light, with the momentum from that early game, although Soma's doing a fantastic job holding on, he did eventually get broken. We're going to jump into our next game here. It's Light versus Hero. Potentially our final game of the night, guys. That's crazy. This is going to be such a quick night here. But that was an epic game. I hope we're going to get another great one here. Hero versus Light coming right up. Alright, hopping into match number 4 here. We've got Hero versus Light on Tempest. With Hero here in the top left, Light in the top right. How do you feel about this map in TVZ?
I'm not entirely sure, saying, to be honest with you. One thing that I think we'll see a lot more of is maybe a consideration for, you know, very like either very standard bunker expand type play into Valkyries, or I think we'll see maybe even a little bit of greed out of the Terran players going for this sort of 14cc style, but I'm not too sure they'll be too confident to go for that. Yeah, I'm not too sure, because one thing to be said is that this map does favor, like, I think, late game transitions for the Terran player, but I don't think they will necessarily get to these transitional stages because of the way that the map's laid out. I think it's quite advantageous for Zerg the longer the game goes on. I'm not entirely sure, so I actually kind of favor this map for Hero if the game goes on for any longer than, say, 15 minutes, but someone like Light is going to really bring the punishment to him in this early to mid game phase.
Yeah, we should end up seeing a completely different style of Zerg played here. Hero and Soma are polar opposites when it comes to their preferred play style. Hero likely to go for a much more economic style, where Soma, we saw that last game, just balls to the wall aggression, really quick to hatch play, trying to do his best to sneak out that Spire as quickly as possible, and with the very low drone counts, put the pressure onto the Terran player. But Hero here, he's going to be getting his 12 hatch. He didn't go for the early pool like what we saw out of Soma. He's not scared of an 8 Rax here from Light. He's found his opponent right away as well with the Overlord, so he's in a pretty decent position here. He's got that nice economic build going, and he has complete vision of what's coming here for Light.
Yeah, he's even... If he wants to ideally see the exact timing of this command center, even though the drone's not going to confirm that, he has got this Overlord that was just like hovering around just to make sure he got a lingering second to check on the exact timing of that CC. It does kind of tell you the exact range of play that's viable from the Terran player if you can confirm exactly when that 400 minerals was spent. So it's really important to confirm the exact timing of that, because it will help him narrow down the possible things that will be coming to him in the next few minutes.
Oh, we've got a single Marine here. Shouldn't be able to get any kills. Gonna be tracked down by these drones. He might actually get the kill on this. Oh, he does finish that off. That is actually a big kill right there. Hero just using a couple of drones to get that. Oh, he's gonna be sending them back to work now as well. That really backfired for for Light there.
Yeah, he even got some hits on the other Marine as well, which really will put the fear of God into Light a little bit, because it really does take the wind out of the sails of this push. He needs to be very careful here. Not only has he only got 3 Marines instead of 4, but one of the Marines has already got 2 hits taken off of it. So it really does put him on the back foot in terms of what he would like to be at positionally. So now that might also work in Light's favor if Hero underestimates what Light will do next. Say, for example, no Sunken is made and no additional pair of Lings is made, and suddenly Light pushes across right now and comes in and then could punish Hero by taking out a few drones, but instead Hero's going to understand that he needs to make the additional links just to guarantee being safe here. So not going to be being too greedy is Hero, but that's the one thing that maybe Light could have done there, was kind of distract the Lings in the main base with the SCVs while the Marines come in to try and snipe some drones. But someone of Hero's caliber is not going to fall for those kind of plays.
Ooh, he could lose some Marines here. Oh, there's actually a few too many. Hero not going to engage with that. Yeah, that was, I think, favoring Hero that trade. Oh, he's built a bunch more Lings. Uh-oh. Bunker is on the way here, though. Maybe he can jump on top of this and possibly run a few Lings by into the main. No, he's just going to back off for now. Still, a fantastic position here for Hero. Even though he did pop out those extra Lings, he's got enough here to roll with this Spire and pop out a ton of Mutilis here soon. And if these Marines come forward a little bit too far, he could get us around, kill a bunch of these Marines, and give himself a even better position here. Yeah, looks like Light gonna think about moving out right now, and this is exactly what Hero would want. He's gonna spread out his Lings, and he's gonna get a big surround here to start things off. Kill off as many of these Marines as he can. He's gonna get 2, 3, 4 Marines immediately, and then get the surround once again. 2 Firebats are coming out here, but they're way too late. All the Marines are gonna go down. That is a huge win here for Hero.
Wow, absolutely stellar stuff. It's really what I like to see staying. This is like how I used to really try and play Zerg back in the day, was trying to punish Terrans by this like sort of Ling pressure play, and if they are successfully defended, you don't actually go for the kill, you just kind of sit back and wait for the 2 racks move out, and then you punish them. Then that way of thinking is very old school and orthodox, but it really does still stand the test of time and can work even against the absolute best of them, and Light really is the absolute best of them when it comes to TVZ. So seeing such an old school way of thinking work still against someone of Light's caliber is always a fantastic thing to see. Now we have the 6 mutas flying around, sharking around, and kind of waiting for any kind of scent of blood in the water, because so many Marines were killed that it's not really a lot of anti-air for Light, except a few turrets that are being thrown down in a haze of panic right now, as some of them are going to be rotating around into that main base, slowing down production of that turret, taking out one of the SCVs and building a few more units back at base as well, while also macroing up. He understands that he also needs to get this 3rd base online. Just because he's got this small lead doesn't mean he needs to be complacent and kind of rest on his laurels, so to speak. He's going to be really aggressively pushing this advantage now, making the absolute bare amount of units that he needs to keep Light in his base, while also macroing like an absolute madman.
So many drones popping out here for Hero, and yeah, you hit the nail on the head. He is not interested in trying to push in or get a quick win here. He's going to be macroing like crazy, getting into his next stages of tech, and Light going to throw down his factory just now. Do we have those 2 buildings though? Do we have the Queen's Nest on the way? Hydralisk Den here, but no Queen's Nest. Interesting. We might be seeing an aggressive play with Lurker coming up here soon. So many drones popping out right now. He's going to have an insane amount of production here. And with the base in the bottom left, that natural, I think we're going to see Hero go to 4 base really quickly here.
Yeah, that's the idea, is a bunch of lurkers and secure the early 4 for free, and then you've got like basically 4 gases against Light. This is all he needs from then on. He will probably win the game if he manages to get to that state. So right now is the aim of the game is just slow down, keeping Light pinned down as much as possible. These mutas will be constantly dogging this Bioforce in the center, trying to keep it as slow as possible. Every time he wants to move this Bioball, Hero is going to be taking shots like this, coming in and taking out 2 Marines at a time, making sure they have to stand their ground in square formation or risk losing their entire forces. So really doesn't want Light to come out any further than this, because he hasn't got any Sunkens back at home really. He's only just now starting to produce more Lings, and this is actually the best case scenario for Hero, is because of how passive Light has been. It means he can make more offensive units such as Lings to support these mutas out in the field, to trade off these Bioforces even more efficiently potentially as well. And if he does snipe this Firebat off with these mutas as well, he's going to trade so effectively against these Bioball with this Mutaling setup. So interestingly enough for Hero, he's actually got this Firebat to deal with in the 6 o'clock location, but not actually getting any kills down there, just being a little bit annoying is Light right now. And some lurkers are on the way, Hive on the way now, so the transition is being fully implemented by Hero, and he's done an exceptional job of slowing down these units for the time being. But now finally Light's starting to get brave enough to push into this natural location. There's only a few lurkers on the way, not quite hatched yet, Sam.
Oh, there's the lurkers. They're just going to pop out here. He can focus this down. A great spread here from Light. He's going to get a bunch of these lurkers killed, but look at that. The Lings coming up from behind here. The lurkers did their job in holding this off, and wow, Hero takes a huge victory there, shoving everything back. We're gonna have a Hive on the way now, and no forces out on the field. Just complete map control goes to Zerg at a time when generally you would see map control go over to the Terran. Hero's just gonna have free reign here to take his 4th base, and no pressure here to defend. Now coming into the natural with a bunch of Lings, and he's getting this gas killed as well. Oh my god. The gas pick here is amazingly good right now for Hero. You're not going to be able to build vessels and tanks right now, and that's really what Light needs to do if he wants to do some sort of tank push before the defilers are out. It's going to be incredibly hard for him to get that done. I think we've got some hold position lurkers out here in the front, and Nidus Canal going down. You know that means that the Hive is done. Hold position lurkers get a good shot off. He should unburrow and back away now. No, he's just going to go and keep pushing forward here. Maybe he can get a snipe on a tank. No, backing away to the high ground. Looks like Light will be safe for now. I don't know what those lurkers were doing. They just peeking up towards that ramp there. Gonna back away for now.
Wow, Hero is so good, man. Like, when he's playing good, he really is playing phenomenal. And he doesn't always hit his stride, but he's one of the most exceptional, well-rounded Zerg players out there, and very experienced player. It's always a pleasure to see him pull off games like this. And he's showing an absolute masterclass in the fundamentals of Zerg. And when you understand the game state, you know that you can. It's the same concept in PvT, where you make vultures when the Protoss is being passive and tanks when he's being aggressive to be defensive. He's instead made muted Ling all this entire game. Now got so many lurkers out on the field to fight against this huge biomech army, forcing back like the 3 tanks. One of them does go down, the other 2 are sieging up. There's like, only 1 vessel supported. There are some dropships waiting in the wings to try and get some damage done desperately, but with how many forces are being fielded by Hero right now, I don't know how Light is going to be able to cost efficiently deal with this. Yuta's also waiting in the main base for any kind of drop play that comes in, with a Great Aspire on the way as well. So Hero not really like letting anything come his way to deal with what he wants to go for. He's going to absolutely dominate Light if Light goes for any drop play in the time being, and there's so many forces set up for Hero right now that he's going to have to be very tentative with how he pushes in against Hero. If he takes one bad fight, it's going to be all over for Light.
Yeah, there is a ton of lurkers here. He could try to run this over, just mass lurker, try to get up on top of this. I think that would be kind of the only way that Hero could lose right now is if he overextends with all these lurkers. So he's just going to hold back, try to get his Guardians out here. This triple drop could be huge heading down to the bottom left. We've got a Nidus Canal connected here. He's going to run for it. He's going for it, driving in here, but he does have that Defiler play ready now, and he kills both of the tanks. Going for the main base right now. There's plenty of mutas here. This could be the shutdown moment. Oh my god. Kills one of the dropships right off the bat. Another dropship gonna go down immediately following that. Lings come here into the main, and the mutas should be able to clean all of this up. Complete shutdown for Hero. Light absolutely wrecked in this game.
Wow, Hero is so good. Hero is so good. So
all those dropships went down, man. There's nothing that Light can do right now. He's got no tanks. He's got no dropships. He's spent so much of that starport time devoted to building up those units. He's only got 2 science vessels here with no irradiate. There's no way he breaks through any of these positions now.
Yeah, he's got the 4th base going up now. The only chance that Light has is breaking this bottom left expansion right here, right now. He's got 1 irradiate going down on a lurker. That's not going to help him. He needs to be targeting the Defilers. Any Dark Swarm is going to completely halt this force in its tracks. And now we see a counterattack coming from Hero, setting up outside this choke point, kind of shutting down Light being able to reinforce out onto the map, while also threatening Defiler skirting around. And now the Guardians are coming out in the 12 o'clock position. So he's got this force is completely zoned out in the middle right now, while these Guardians are going to be skirting around to this natural location, going to be shutting down the gas mining yet again. It's going to be absolute devastation for Light when he realizes he's not going to be mining gas for long. He's not going to be happy about it, Sam.
Yeah, here comes the army back from the field here. Light gonna try and sandwich this, but the lurkers managed to get underneath the Guardians here. This is such a problem for Light right now. He's not gonna be able to mine gas. He's not gonna be able to produce double vessel here. Hey, he's only producing off of 1 star part, I guarantee you right now. And these Guardians are going to continue to deny this back at home. Hero going to be getting more and more gases online. Looks like this will be cleared, but that was an expensive army that was just killed by... that was killed for Light, and even more Lings are going to come up here. The Lurker's coming from the high ground as well. He's going to surround and kill everything. GG. Light taps out. Hero. Such an impressive game from him here on Tempest. That was wonderful to watch.
I'm speechless. Like, Hero is so good. I always love watching this guy play. Absolute pleasure.
All right, we have one final game for you guys. It's going to be Sock versus Hero. That's coming right up. Okay, final game of the night here. Hero versus Sock. We got Hero in the bottom left, Sock in the top right. Our most standard map here, Polypoid, for this final match. And I've been wishing for some Sock games here. Glad to see him in the KCM once again.
Yeah, I really like Sock. He's been playing like an absolute beast pretty much every game we've been seeing of him in these recent weeks, and would have been absolutely fantastic to see him in the ASL. Didn't quite make it in there, unfortunately, but would have been nice to see him in there to see what games he would bring and what strategies he'd come up with. He does seem to have a few pocket builds that he can pull out even in KCM, so I'm sure someone of his caliber would have had some interesting games for us to see in ASL, but unfortunately we're gonna have to just like enjoy him in the KCM instead. But that's all good. We see a nice little 8 racks coming out for him here with a wall behind it as well, so gonna be putting on a little bit of pressure early game to Hero, but probably not going to be committing too fully to it.
8 racks. Again, we've been saying it all day. It's very meta right now, and Hero's not respecting it. However, he is on cross map, so the dice roll here in his favor, this coin flip of being cross map, is going to make this a lot harder for Sock. He still could get some damage, could still get some great damage here, but it's just going to be that much harder with this far position here, long rally distance with the Marines. And this is not a super forward barracks here either. It's just a little bit in front of his natural.
Yeah, I think like 8 to 10 seconds to your rush distance by having to go cross map is a really big deal. It kind of completely negates a lot of potential aggression and such, so it does kind of like limit your options in the early game. You can still obviously go for those aggressive plays. It's just much harder to do the damage required, and the reinforcing units take longer to get there, and it just gives such a big defender's advantage to the other opposing player. So we see a very far away bunker set up from Sark here. Wants to pull these drones right the way back, and probably doesn't want to commit too fully to this, but wants to see if he can get maybe these drones off the line for as long as possible, maybe get a couple of drone kills here to even things up a bit before he goes for that transition. But it looks like Sark not going to be getting anything done for the time being. Hero not losing a single drone. He has 6 currently here, the absolute safe minimum. I would say you can get away with 5 sometimes as well, but 6 is the absolute safe minimum. A great nice little drone drill from Hero, getting onto one of those Marines, but really nice target firing from Sark, killing one of those instantly. Sunken is on the way, but gonna be some time before that's finished, and Sark put down a lot of DPS on that already taken down to the 100 HP mark, so that when it does finish, only down to 1 HP, and doesn't get the Marines when they get back into the bunker either. So really great play from Sark. Only a few shots onto the Sunken will kill it now that it's finished up. So see, as you can see, 20 HP while he transitions. So if he wanted to, he could have committed to and killed this Sunken. That means that Hero has to make a lot of lings quickly to not only kill this bunker and break out, but also make sure that this Sunken doesn't get broken. So really everything's gone well for Sark here.
Yeah, Sark is holding back these SCVs. He's hiding them to kind of bait Hero forward to try and kill this bunker and then dive upon that bunker to repair it. He's sending one SCV back home now, so this is probably just going to be killed here very soon. Yeah, here we go. He's just going to jump on that bunker. SCV sent forward to try and repair. He's jumping back inside the bunker there. He tried some little cute moves, popping the Marines out and then back inside to try and like change the aggro of the lings there, but still will be killed. All of the Marines are lost, and this is a fantastic position for Hero. Yeah, he almost lost that Sunken, but I mean, almost getting busted or almost getting the bust is actually worse in a lot of cases than not even trying to get the bust. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he committed quite a lot to it. He didn't actually get really much done, and now he's lost a few additional Marines and such. So it's not really ideal for Sark by any means. I still feel like I like his position a little bit here, but it did not really go the best case scenario for him for sure.
Third hatchery on the way here in the main spire coming up as well. So Hero will be putting that pressure back onto Sark here shortly. We'll see how he decides to respond. Gonna have a comsat coming up here shortly. He's gonna push out with some medic and marine as well, but there's a potential here for Hero to just build a bunch of lings once again and surround and just kill that army. The SCV's been wiped off the map as well, so there's no scouting information here for Sok just yet. With that comsat, he's going to be able to confirm what's coming here. 4 racks going to be the follow-up for Sok.
Yeah, no surprise there. I think pretty much every Terran player is more or less playing like this right now, unless they're doing a build order specifically that doesn't allow for that many barracks at this time. So yeah, that 4 racks will be a nice little boon for him, getting as much bio units out as possible. One thing to note is that even though I would say there was a small risk there that Sark took, that Hero wouldn't commit fully to a Ling all-in there, because if he did decide to go 3-hatch all-in Ling, I think that Hero would just like walk over him and kill him. But there was a little bit of a gamble there from Sark to just kind of assume that wouldn't happen. But he was pretty confident that Hero wouldn't risk like throwing the game in that way, because if Sark even remotely defends it well enough by like putting some SCVs to block or something, or has a fire battle or anything, or a bunker, then it obviously then Hero just loses the game for free essentially. So Sark was pretty confident that someone of Hero's caliber wouldn't just risk throwing the game away like that. So I really like that Sark's kind of calling the bluff of Hero by still min-maxing his build order, even though like ideally he should be like thinking about some of these potential plays from Hero that could just stomp him out early on.
That could be actually a weakness here for Heroes, that players have been able to kind of pigeonhole him a little bit, is that he is not the type of player that wants to go for an all-in. He's much more comfortable doing something like this, which is droning up, getting a 3rd base. He's going to come in now with the mutas here, get quite a few of these Marines, and get on top of these SCVs as well. This is a great first fly-through for Hero here. He's going to get even more Marines here at the back. These Marines are super strung out here, running around the back of the mineral patches. There's only 1 turret here as well. So with this number of muta, he's just gonna rip these SCVs apart. This is almost game-winning damage here as he goes back around the mineral patches one more time. Some Lings making their way here into the natural, killing a couple of Marines as well, and Sok is just getting murdered right now in this game. He's going to lose even more Marines here. He's had to pull away all of the SCVs from the main base, and Hero is just taking this to an early victory here after holding off that initial 8 racks play. He's gotten himself into a fantastic position. He might even kill this armory here in the top. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's absolutely on fire right now. Like basically ahead 25 supply. Like you say, he could have killed that academy. I don't think he's actually going to commit to it right now. He's just going to be focusing on his production back at home, making sure that he's dotting his I's, crossing his T's. All you need to do now is just produce units and micro effectively and trade half decently. He will take out Sark right here, right now. He's going back into the main base, taking some whole position pot shots at these bio units, doing some beautifully executed micro while Lings come into the natural to try and put him into a bit of a checkmate situation, forking the attack by forcing him to defend 2 locations at the same time and trying to get a cost-efficient trade in the main base with these mutas over and over again, keeping the bio count low while he floods a few more muta Ling, ready to go for the stab into the natural expansion here. There's only a few turrets set up, so he can just get on top of the ramp and start volleying down all of these bio units. The beautiful medic block on the ramp going to be slowing down some of these Lings, but so many mutas are going to be killing these Marines over and over again. There is an armory, so eventually there will be some kind of Valkyrie play to help support these bio units, but for the time being, Hero just ripping apart these bio units, mutalist glaives bouncing around all over the place, taking out these Marines one at a time. There's only 1 zoning turret here on these 4 racks as well, and more additional Lings coming up from the southern threshold, going to be getting on top of the ramp as well. There's 4 medics blocking that ramp to try and slow this down, but now the Lings will be targeting this stuff in the natural expansion, so maybe even this Valkyrie's not going to be able to finish as well, Sam.
Valkyrie's gonna not make it out of this starport, and that gets targeted down. GG is called. Sok taps out. A great technical takedown there from Hero, finishing off Sok. You know, going for that 8 racks play, it's risky, man. If you don't get any damage, you are in a bad position, and Hero punished beautifully there. He held that off and got those excellent kills with the Mutalist. The position in the top right, really hard to defend. with the comsat on the right hand side. It's so hard to get your Marines to run through that area to push the Mutalisks out, and the positioning of the buildings was such that there was just no way to get those Mutalisks out of that position. So unfortunate loss there for Sak. He gets knocked out, and Hero will win, giving the Zerg another first place victory here in the KCM. We're gonna go take a look at the score screen. All right, here are your point rankings for week 8. Terran has come out with the victory here overall, but Zerg grabbing those last couple of points, bringing themselves right up alongside their Terran opponents. Protoss complete flatline here.
Yeah, they've gone into a coma. They need to wake up for the semi-finals against the Zerg, though. I'm really looking forward to that matchup. It's going to be fantastic semi-finals if Protoss can bring one of their A-game lineups. They have got the roster for it, saying they just need to dig deep into that dugout and pull out some of these players out of the dirt. I don't know if they're bickering. I don't know if they're squabbling. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they've gone on holidays. They're driving in their Chad Protoss 8 Bugattis and they can't quite make it home in time to play for them. I don't know what's going on in the Protoss world right now, but they need to sort it out and get it together for the semi-finals and show us some great games. I'm looking forward to it.
I really hope we don't have a bye here. You've got to bring out a good lineup for Protoss in our semifinals. It's going to be ZVP semifinals, and whoever takes the win there will be going up against Terran in the finals. Guys, it's been a great week, if not a very short week of KCM. Still a lot of great games here. Hero doing some amazing work, and Light pulling out a great victory over Soma as well.
Yeah, and Hero just playing like a beast, but I would like to see him mix up his play, because here's the thing, he does go for these macro plays pretty much all the time, but he is capable of just about any range of play. He can cheese, he just doesn't do it, and he needs to maybe throw that out there once in a while just to keep these players on their toes, because he doesn't want to be too predictable, and that's one thing that we could see from him in the semifinals against pros. If he does play the exact same way every time, maybe these other pros will start metagaming him a little bit, but I don't think they want to push him too much, because it is Hero, and Hero's probably got one of the most diverse range of plays out of most pros in terms of what he can do at a high level. So if he wants to, he can do it. It's just a matter of, does he like pull the chains off and allow the beast to become unleashed?
I wonder if we're going to see 8 racks be thrown back into the scrap heap of the Terran meta or not, because it feels like the Zergs at the highest level have started to figure it out more and more. It's not getting as much damage as it used to, and you know, Zergs are able to hold it off with just a good early drone scout seems to be the key.
Right. Yeah, and even going for that really aggressive 6 racks to put on the extra pressure, it does kind of give you a little bit of safety against the 9 scout, but it's still, you can still get shut down just as easily. So yeah, maybe there's going to have to be an adjustment from these Terrans, and the meta will have to shift a little bit. I don't think they're going to be too happy about that, because they want to keep these 8 racks and other early game plays open to them, because it does allow them to navigate a certain way in the game that they do like a lot, especially going for the early tech play straight into 4 racks into Valkyrie or what have you. So they do like to go for the 8 racks pressure play into, say, like floating the barracks for a Mickey Mouse wall and like taking advantage of that fact. But sometimes they're going to have to adjust eventually, though. So I would like to see Terran players maybe shifting up the meta a little bit here and coming up with some new strategies, some new solutions, and not just relying on the likes of someone like Light or Flash to kind of like reshift the meta for them to kind of pave the way. Like, you know, kind of be a bit more and take your own initiative and come up with your own solutions rather than just relying on the same thing over and over again.
You know, maybe we'll see Terran players go back into just heavy macro play with a little wall in at the front. And then once Zergs have relaxed a little bit, you know, stop sending out those early drones to scout and counter the 8 racks. Maybe then we'll see another emergence of the 8 racks. But that's just the back and forth of Terran versus Zerg. It has shifted many, many times over the years, and it will continue to shift here. We're hoping to get some more translation help in the future. Guys, if you know Korean and you can help us out with some translation, definitely hit me up on Discord. The link is in the description. Guys, that's it for today. This has been your daily dose of Brood War, and I'll see you tomorrow.